mouth, drawing me in and you kicking me out. You got my head spinning, no kidding, I can't pin you down. What's going on in that beautiful mind? I'm on your magical mystery ride, and I'm so dizzy, don't know what hit me, but I'll be alright. My head's underwater, but I'm breathing fine. You're crazy and I'm out of my mind, 'cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning. Even when I lose, I'm winning, 'cause I give you all of me, and you give me all of you. Oh, how many times do I have to tell you? Even when you're crying, you're beautiful too. The world is beating you down. I'm around through every mood. You're my downfall, you're my muse, my worst distraction, my rhythm and blues. I can't stop singing, it's ringing in my head for you. My head's underwater, but I'm breathing fine. You're crazy and I...
All of me, and if you can give me all of you, even when I'm losing, I am still winning. Oh my goodness. I just wish I could be able to sing it. I know somebody is already laughing. Good morning, Malabites and Malabrases. Good morning to you. Joining us this beautiful morning. A deep apologies for starting behind schedule. Our time check is 6 minutes past the hour of 8. I want to 3.5 Unico Radio International is the morning burst show this beautiful morning. Don't forget that my name is Obase Oyi Thompson. Right away this morning, don't forget that we're here to keep you accompanied despite the fact that we're having a very good, calm, and a lovely weather out there. Yes, this beautiful morning. And don't forget that we usually start, keeping your day as such, so that you and I, we're gonna having a very fantastic and a lovely day ahead. So right away this morning, don't forget we take you through all of the segments that we have for you this beautiful morning. I am gonna be a morning companion, definitely. You're not gonna leave me alone behind, right? You're all of me. Okay, so right away this beautiful morning, how are you doing this morning? What's going on in your area? Yeah, just like I said, while I was coming this morning, I noticed something that I didn't find funny. In fact, I hurriedly walked up to this person to ensure that I meet up this person to say, look, you have to stop this kind of madness, trashing things under the gutters, despite all of the ringtones we're putting out there, despite all of the information's awareness and all of that, people are still deliberately, are putting dustbins, yeah, waste bins inside our waterways. And this is not really going to well. And it's exceptionally not something we should all be glorying about. And funny enough, these are people who are living in good apartments, are doing this to the detriment of those who are actually barely surviving. And this is absolutely unacceptable. Unacceptable. So I think it's quite important for us to have our environmental teams, always going around, searching and, putting eyes on all of this. And I still want to ask, what are community leaders doing? We have to stop all of these things. All of you, selling or doing businesses besides gutters and all of that, you have to stop it. Stop putting your waste inside our water waste, because what you're doing, it's okay that you, on the other hand, you're feeling like, oh, you don't need to stress yourself, time management and all of that. But on the other hand, you're not your brother's keeper at all. You're not trying to do anything, anything to keep the other person on the other side of the wall, safe and all of that. So you must have to stop it. Yeah, you must have to stop it. You don't have a choice. Put your waste on a particular bin, and then when it is time, as a letter by the government, you have to go from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. to go and ensure that you trash your waste. You don't need to put all your, debts on that particular, waterways. It is wrong. It is unacceptable, because you're causing a lot of harm, not just to your other brothers and sisters from the other side, but to our wonderful creatures in our rivers. It is not okay. It is absolutely not too okay. Okay, so I get to talk to us this morning. So you're going to be my companion, like I said. So you're going to talk to us this beautiful morning. What's happening in your area? I hope that fence, yeah, there's a particular fence, I just had a report that, oh, it fell off and then it fell on people's car and all of that. So what's happening in your area? I hope your landlord building did not fall. And I hope your neighbor's house did not fall. And I hope that nothing is happening. And then I advise again, when it is raining, you don't have to turn on your appliances. Ensure you turn them off. Yes, I understand a lot of persons love music. That's why you should have either music box. Yeah, in this case, it actually helps, right? You could play your music, you could do your movie without turning in or turning on your electrical appliance. It's very wrong, especially if you do not have earth in your building. Okay, so right away here at this beautiful morning, our phone lines are open, so you also be part of this conversation. 0809 4444058. Don't forget, today is Thursday. Yeah, thank God it's Thursday. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I thank God it's Thursday, and of course we'll be doing a lot of throwback this beautiful morning. Okay, so like you said, what's happening in your area? What's that one thing you want us to know this beautiful morning? Get to talk to us this morning. 08094444058. Also send messages, your WhatsApp message to the same phone numbers this beautiful morning. Okay, so guys, I have a gist for you guys. Yeah. So just yesterday, while I was about going, I think I noticed a group of persons, stopping and searching cars. And then I just could politely ask one of them, what's your role? You're supposed to be aware we have traffics. Okay, so why are you guys searching the car and all of that? They say it's part of the things that they just feel to do. I say, well, I think we have a lot of complicated, activities, or I don't know, is it duties per se? Because we have the police, we have the road safety, we have the VIO, we have all of these guys, and everybody is just doing the work of this other person and all of that, and it's really not too okay. And this is why we sometimes have issues of people getting aggressed and begin to do some certain things like that that really 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 doesn't go too well. And on the other hand, I also have this particular concern that has to do with a trending video of a particular lady who accused a fellow passenger of trying to do some kind of funny things inside the vehicle. And as such, for me, I think it's just like somebody saying, this person is creating a content and all of that. If not, then trust me, I don't see reason why someone, at such level should have to involve themselves in such, disastrous acts, and then I just feel like, are you sure this is not content? Because these days, people can go an extra mile to, do some certain things just so that they get attractions or get attentions and all of that put together. But then I think if that is not the content, then it is wrong. I think on the other hand, I'd be like, okay, are you really sure it's not because people feel like depression or people are just going through a lot? But if you're going through a lot, it shouldn't lead you to go and commit crimes or involve yourself in things that are really, really, really punishable by the law. Don't forget that at some point in time, you be like, okay, so this is not going to be important. This is not going to be something that we need to talk about. But trust me, if you don't, take your time, you're going to land yourself in prison. Yeah, in prison. If not in, how do they call it? That of Calabar, right? You definitely, if they don't take you to Ekobasi, they'll definitely take you to Krikri. So please do everything you can to ensure that you stay out of trouble. Yeah, don't worry, don't worry. Some of you are saying, this weather is this. There is nothing like this weather is this. Go and buy rub in your face, rub in your leg, rub in your hands, and move out. Go to work. Yeah, a lot of persons are not actually, getting prepared to go to work. Okay, so because of time, right away here, let's quickly take you through a music break, and when we are back, the weather forecast will definitely, be out there for you. Just like it's already a rainy day. Just like we said yesterday and today again. Don't forget, July is the peak of the rain. So we shouldn't be finding it kind of stressful, especially when we know that this is Calabar for you. This is Calabar for you. So if you're just coming to Calabar, yeah, enjoy, have fun. You don't need to worry. Okay. All right. So right away here, I'll be doing something from Mike Jackson, and he calls this one "Heal the World." Stay tuned and don't touch the dial. I'll be right back. morning. Okay, so don't forget that is Heal the World from Michael Jackson. Okay, so right away here, let's quickly take you through the weather forecast this morning. If you're just joining us, time check is 18 minutes past the hour of 8 on 103.5 Unico Radio International. The weather forecast is up next year. Don't forget, my name is Obase Thompson. Today is July 9th, 2026 in the Calabar Metropolis. A wet day is expected across the Calabar Metropolis with periods of rain and in thunderstorms, some of which could be heavy, especially from late morning into the afternoon hours. Our temperatures will be cooler than recent days, ranging between 24 and 27 degrees Celsius with very high humidity. From the hours of 6 to 12 p.m., temperatures around 24 to 26 degrees Celsius. Weather condition cloudy with light to moderate rain developing. Rain chances around 80 to 95%. A quick tip here, leave home with an umbrella or raincoat and expect slippery roads during the morning commute. In the afternoon hours of 12 to 5 p.m., we have temperatures ranging around 26 to 27 degrees Celsius. Weather condition, heavy showers and thunderstorms likely. Rain chances 95%. Avoid flood-prone areas where possible and postpone unnecessary outdoor activities. From the evening hours of 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., our temperatures around 24% to 25%. Weather condition showers will gradually become lighter through a few pockets of rain may actually persist. Rain chances around 50 to 70%. Roads may remain wet, so motorists should drive cautiously. In summary, don't forget that temperatures ranges around 24 to 27 degrees Celsius. Weather condition, rain and thunderstorms are heavy at times. And overall, rain chance is very high, above 90% during much of the day. Like we always say, keep an umbrella handy, allow extra travel time, and stay alert for localized flooding in low-lying parts of Calabar. Okay, so like we always say, don't forget that Calabar, it's especially this July, it's gonna be so rainy, so you need to ensure that you stay with your umbrella at all times. Yeah, yeah, you don't need to be walking around and then there's no umbrella. You're not safe. You're putting on some shoes that when you step on some some floor, it will take you up and down. So you wouldn't want to be laughed out, and you wouldn't want content creators. It's under this rain. A lot of content creators. Don't mind some people walking under the rain. They are all content creators. Like they just walk around and be seeing who is going to fall or who is going to do a mistake, who is going, and those kind of persons there before you start seeing yourself on social media trending. Oh, but please do all you can to make sure that you get an umbrella and stay safe, like we always say, especially to our motorists. Please, there is a path for you to drive and there are paths for people to actually work. So please don't go and just simply because you want to beat traffic or you just want to go front, you want to go and park passengers and all of that, and then you go and step on the pedestrian lane. Please, now just drive on your own path. It's raining, and these are times where you wouldn't say, oh, accident wouldn't occur and all of those things. It wouldn't occur if you drive safely, if you drive calmly. Just imagine this particular music promoter that passed on some couple of days ago. Now please, we're begging you, you just need to stay alive for us, and 2027 is just by the corner. If you pass, we don't lose one vote with that now. Please, we don't want anybody to lose his or her life. We must survive the next 4 years again. So okay, so just do all you can to ensure that you walk around with your umbrella this beautiful rainy day in Calabar. All right, so right away here we'll go on a short music break. I'll be doing something from Rihanna and Jay-Z, and they call this one Umbrella. Stay tuned and don't touch the dial because we'll be right back before you know it.
Cheer. Rihanna. Good girl going back.
It's raining, raining. Oh, baby. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Wire Boy, good morning. Thank you so much for sending in your message. Yeah, of course, we're here to keep you accompanied this beautiful morning. So I think you have an umbrella, right? I don't just want to think. I believe you have an umbrella to ensure that it takes you through. Yeah, you just want to go get something, get some little snacks and all of that, to make breakfast for yourself this beautiful morning. Yeah, and when it's raining like this, guy, I'm hungry. The deal. Yeah, you just be hungry anyhow, anyhow, anyhow. Okay, so right away this beautiful morning, don't forget that we're going through straight to the exchange rate segment of the morning boss show. If you're just joining us, time check is 27 minutes past the hour of 8. My name is Obase Oye Thompson, of course, your morning companion this beautiful reading Thursday. Thank God it's Thursday. Anyways, we're going to be doing a lot of throwbacks for most of you who are still home. Like I said, this is how much it's going to be costing you to, import your breakfast. For most of you who don't, like home cooks and all of that, this is how much it's going to be costing you to import your breakfast this beautiful morning, especially if you're doing it for two, right? Yeah, or if you're doing it for four, for roommates who are doing it for 6 or 8. Yeah, I know some rooms that they have a lot of persons who are actually up to 10, 15 in the same room and all of that. Hello, but however, this is how much it's going to cost you to actually import some of those your best fries for the morning. Okay, so first we start with the Swiss francs this beautiful morning. Don't forget that just one Swiss francs is costing Nigeria 1,705 naira. Okay, so and then one Saudi Real is costing Nigeria 366 naira, and then just one West African CFA is costing Nigeria just 2 naira, and then one Japanese yen is costing Nigeria 8 naira. Okay, so one Danish kron is costing Nigeria 209 naira. And then one Chinese yuan is costing Nigeria 201 naira. And then one South African rand is costing Nigeria 84 naira. And then one pound sterling is costing Nigeria 1,832 naira. And taking a look on the euro, you say 1 euro is costing Nigeria 1,586 naira. And then one US dollar is costing Nigeria 1,362 naira. Okay, so that's pretty much you'll be doing from the exchange rate segment of the Morning Boss Show. But because of time, let's quickly take you through the national holiday segment that we have for you this beautiful Thursday. Yeah, you get it right. The national holiday segment is up next here. Okay, so first on our national holidays is Fashion Day. Yeah, I'm just thinking like today, whatever you're gonna put on, yeah, it's just going to be very exceptional, just gonna be looking good. But I'm just wondering how the rain is gonna allow you to put on your whites and put on some kind of colors, under this rain. But today is Fashion Day, okay? So you have to do all you can to tell your fashion designers, fashion designer, please, oh, please just look at my face like this and look at my body shape and say, okay, this is the kind of shirt that was going to match that event you want to attend, and this is what I'm going to make for you very special. Yeah, and so cases like this or days like these are times where lots of persons, for fashion designers and all of you guys that really, 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 really into fashion, yeah, today is that day for you guys. We celebrate you, do all you can to put them on. Yeah, get a big umbrella and ensure that you display. You say under this rain. Yes, now there are some. I think fashion designers can actually make some good dresses for you under this rain now that will suit the weather. That's why they are there. That's why they are called fashion designers. So they can actually design, some kind of good wears for you, that really depicts this weather that we have. That we have in Calabar. Yeah, they can also design something that looks like, okay, this is Calabar kind of weather design. Yes, now, so I know those guys can actually do it. Okay, so today we celebrate you, and of course, thank you so much for all you do. But please, if I give you material, I beg, when you try just finish on time now. No, go carry my shirts, go material, go keep for your this thing now before all of those small pets go enter inside. And then if you don't keep your material for these people hands, and you don't they reach 1 month, 2 months, I beg, before you carry that your material back, make sure say you use all of these how do they call those things now, insecticides, spray them, because bed of you don't enter. No, now I know it's shaking the table. Okay, so right away here, the next holidays that we have for you is International Emergency Kits Day. Yes, International Emergency Kits Day. Now, talking about emergency kits, a lot of times a lot of times you see most facilities, most governments or private institutions, talking about emergency kits, but do we really have them? Do we really, really have them? Because here we're talking about emergency trucks in terms of emergency, who actually responds first, or who actually does what at what point in time do these people actually do these things? So it is quite important for you and I out there to ensure that we have emergency kits in our homes, in our streets. Yeah, the head of the street, how do they call? Obong Efak for Calabar, and then youth leaders, marketplaces, schools, clubs, even these places now they go drink. They sit down, they take one or two bottles and eateries. Please, oh, you guys will have to get emergency kits in case of anything. So today is that day. For most of you, we celebrate you, and for those of you who do not have, please now don't do this. Just go get yours. Just get it. Drivers, please get an emergency kit so that in case somebody wants to either throw out or just develop one or two, you could just say, okay, please, I have this in my car and all of that. Oh, I'm just asking, when will we get to that point? And somebody said, now this how do they call minibus where they put fuel small small for container, and they will get emergency kit. Oh my goodness, yeah, don't underrate these guys though. They might have it in their bonnet. Oh my goodness. Okay, those are the two national holidays that we have for you this beautiful morning. We quickly go on a short music break, and when we are back, don't forget we have the health and wellness segments up next year. Okay, so I'll be doing something very interesting. And this is coming from Dolly Parton, and he calls this one Cuts of Many Colors. Stay tuned and don't touch the bar. I'll be right back. Many colors in my home, but I cannot use. I don't know when I'm gonna use it, but my mama told me to use one. Oh my goodness. I just wish I could know how to sing. That's just my problem. I have the voice, but how do I now start down to master all of these lyrics? Okay, so oh my goodness. But then today we're gonna be looking at the health and wellness segment, and we're gonna be looking at some of these interesting things that you and I just need to put myself right because sometimes I do it, but not really like some kind of persons who literally can't do without it. And today we're going to be looking at the risks of taking too much sugar based food. Okay, so the risks of taking too much, we are not saying sugar, but we're saying too much sugar based foods. Okay, don't forget that sugar is an important source of energy. Yeah, but consuming excessive amounts of sugar-based foods and drinks can negatively, affect your health. Many processed foods, soft drinks, candies, pastries, and desserts contain other sugars that, even when eaten frequently, increases the risk of several health problems. Yes, you know this. Now, funny how a lot of persons actually know this, but they'll be like, no, no, don't worry. I'll manage. But this, I can't eat without, if it's not sugary, if it's not this, if it's not that. But then don't forget that weight gain and obesity. Yes, foods high in added sugar are often rich in calories, but low in nutrients. Excess sugar that the body does not use for energy is stored as fat, now increasing the risk of overweight and obesity. Yeah, you get that right. And then again, I think that reminds me of increased risk of type 2 diabetes. Yes. And then regular consumptions of large amounts of sugar can actually lead to insulin resistance, where the body's cells respond poorly to insulin. And then over time, this may result in type 2 diabetes. Yes, you heard that very right. Okay. So you should ensure that you don't take so much and too much of sugar. And it also reminds me of to decay. Essentially, sugar feeds bacteria in the mouth, which produce acids that erode through enamel. Now, this increases the risk of cavities, tooth decay, and gum diseases. Now, especially when oral hygiene is poor. Now, this is why we advise you do what? You take regular brushing of your mouth. Yes, at least 3 times a day. At least. We are not saying at most. At least. So at most, if you have the time, brush every hour. Especially if you are this kind of person who is prone to, you must eat sugar. You remain small, you could add sugar for your soup, but do all you can to ensure that you don't consume so much of sugar. Yeah, we're not saying don't consume sugar, but don't consume so much of sugar. All right, so we also talk about heart diseases. Now, diets high in added sugar have been linked to increased blood pressure, unhealthy cholesterol levels, and inflammation, and a higher risk of cardiovascular diseases. Yes, so you must ensure that you know that when you take so much of sugar, these are things you definitely have to experience at some point in your life. Okay, so it might not be now. It might just be sooner than later. It might be later in your life, especially when you're aging up to 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 200 years, and 300 years. Yeah, a lot of persons are just wishing, I just wish I could be, a lot of our politicians, if they have the way to buy life, they will buy that life and prefer to remain in office. Okay, fatty liver diseases as well. Now, excessive intakes of fructose, a type of sugar commonly found in sweetened beverages and processed foods, can actually contribute to the buildup of fat in the liver, increasing the risk of non-alcoholic fatty liver diseases, NAFLID. Okay, so do all you can to ensure that you stop all of these excessive processed foods that contain sugar. Is it sugar? Be sugar. Anyhow you pronounce it, so long as you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, those in English and literal studies to say, this is not how we pronounce it. Yeah, that's how I pronounce it. Okay, so I'm talking about energy crashes. Okay, so sugar, foods can cause a rapid rise in blood sugar followed by a sharp drop. Now, this often leads to fatigue, irritability, poor concentrations, and increased hunger shortly after eating. Do you understand? Now, talking about energy crashes. Now, this if you take so much of sugar, it crashes your energy automatically, and it makes you feel irritable to things. Or a lot of things become so irritating to you, and then before you know it, you have poor concentration. Yeah, for most of you, you have poor concentration. Sometimes somebody will be talking to you, and your mind is somewhere else, or something, somehow you're in the lecture hall, and before you know it, you start thinking of different things, especially now that this weather is like this. Let me not go there. Poor skin health. High sugar intake may worsen, hasten and accelerate skin aging by damaging collagen and elastin, the proteins that keeps the skin firm and elastic. You've had that, right? Okay, so you must ensure that you do not actually do all of this. But don't worry, I'm going to give you a breakdown of what all of this actually entails. Now, we talked about increased risks of chronic diseases. Now, long-term excessive sugar consumptions contributes to chronic inflammations, which is associated with conditions such as heart diseases, obesity, and some types of cancer. You've heard it right. But quickly, let me share with you some of the ideas, on how to reduce sugar intake. Yeah, so I'm just going to share with you some of the key ideas on how to reduce, sugar intake. First, choose water instead of sugary drinks. Please, yeah, it's not all the time. You want to take sugary drinks, you want to take sugary things and all of that. Drink water. It is raining. Drink water. For most of you who are drinking rainwater, please, you have to boil this water before you drink it. Don't just go and start drinking rainwater anyhow. Yeah, I'm talking to you in particular. Yes. So, secondly, ensure that you consume more water than you do more of sugary content drinks, and then eat fresh fruits instead of sweets and candies. Ensure you eat fresh fruit instead of sweets and candies. Okay, and then read food labels and limit products with high amounts of added sugar. Prepare more meals at home using whole foods. Limit pastries, cakes, biscuits, and sweetened snacks. For most of you, you spend your entire day eating so much of pastries, sweetened biscuits, cakes, and all of those things. Please do all you can to limit them. Okay, now, while sugar can be enjoyed in moderation, excessive consumptions can have serious long-term health consequences. Adopting a balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats can actually help reduce the risks of sugar-related diseases and promote overall well-being. Yo, you heard it from us this beautiful morning on the health and wellness segment of the Morning Bird Show. If you're just joining us, don't forget it's 44 minutes past the hour of 8, and today is the ninth day in the month of July in the year 2026. My name is Obase Oye Thompson. Right away here, we quickly go on a short music break, and when we are back, we take you through people and the culture. Segment. Okay, so stay tuned and don't touch the dial because I'll be doing something so beautiful. And this is coming from Bruno Ritchie, and he calls this one Stuck on You. Stay tuned and then touch the dial. I'll be right back before you know it. on my way to ensure that these better feelings that I have for you. Don't forget today is Throwback Thursday, and of course, we'll be giving you back to back. Yeah. Such an amazing, cool, calm weather this beautiful Thursday in the beautiful city of Calabar, of course, the nation's paradise. And you're listening to 103.5 Video Radio International. My name is Obasa. I'm your morning companion. This beautiful morning. Okay, so right away here, let's quickly take you through the people and culture segments of the Morning Boss Show. Right away here. And today we'll be looking at typical horror stories told in Nigeria. Very horrible ones. Yeah, for most of you who do horror movies, thank you so much. You are automatically my friend. I love horror movies. Yeah, no matter what I pass through on the day, you see, in the evening, if I have my time, I do more of horror movies. Yeah, horror movies, action movies. Yeah, I love that so much. All right, now let's quickly take you through some of the things that we've heard of in Nigerian story. Yeah, mothers will always say, grandmothers will always say, friends will always say, especially for those of you who come from rural communities where storytelling, night stories, and all of that usually, especially under the moon, yeah, from moon tales and all of those stories, right? Okay, so right away here, let's quickly start with what we have for you this beautiful morning. Don't forget that Nigeria has a rich tradition of ghost stories, supernatural legends, and urban myth, which, while these stories actually differ across ethnic groups and religions, many have become widely known through oral traditions, boarding schools, and popular cultures. They're also best understood as folklore and legends rather than verified events. Do you understand? Yeah. Okay, so first here, I think I love to talk about Madame Koi Koi. Yeah, perhaps Nigerians' most famous horror story, Madame Koi Koi, is said to be the ghost of a beautiful female teacher who wore distinctive red high heels that made the sound Koi Koi. So, as she walked, according to the legend, after suffering a tragic death, her spirit began haunting boarding schools. So, students claim that hearing the clicking of her nails in dark corridors means she is nearby. Different versions of the story say that looking directly at her or answering when she calls your name could bring terrible consequences. Listen. So the story is often used to discourage students from wandering around school late at night and has become a rite of passage in many Nigerian boarding schools. Wow. Okay, so for me, I think I know of lights out. Yeah, so when it's 10 p.m., they say, hey, lights out, so that we don't have to disturb the other people from the other world. So much stories, that we usually hear, when it has to do with, especially those who actually board. Me, I didn't board, and just that sometimes I find myself in camps and, all of those places where you stay for so long, a year, and all of that. And then all of these are things you'll be hearing at night, and they'll be telling you horrible things. Okay, so we also have Mami Wata. Mami Wata is one of the most widespread spiritual figures in West and Central African folklore. She is often portrayed as a beautiful woman, sometimes with the tail of a fish or accompanied by snakes. Legends claim she appears near rivers, lakes, or oceans, luring people with beauty, wealth, or promises of prosperity. Now, some stories say those who follow her may disappear or return with mysterious fortunes, while others disappear and describe her as a protector of or healer. Now, the lesson in this particular story has that the tales encourages respect for bodies of water and reflects traditional beliefs about the spiritual significance of rivers and seas. Yeah, for most of you in Calabar. Okay, so we talk about I don't know, will it be right if I say call the name and answer and all of that? And I don't know. So, but a lot of persons, talk about mommy. Mommy is called mommy water. A lot of persons pronounce as mommy water. Okay, so bush baby. Okay, now talking about a bush baby that has to do with forest spirits. Now, in many Nigerian communities, children were born and outro warned about the bush baby, a mysterious creature said to imitate the cry of an infant deep inside the forest. Curious people who followed the sound were believed to become lost or encounter dangerous spirits. Now, some versions describe the bush baby as a small creature with glowing eyes that disappears as quickly as it appears. That's interesting. Which of them would you really, really love to see? Is a question to you out there. All right, those stories discourage children from wandering into forests alone, especially at night. Wow, this sounds so lovely. Okay, so I think most of these stories is just all about helping young persons to actually behave themselves, yeah, culturally and morally, right? Yeah, you don't need to do certain things because there are consequences, or people who have done this before. This is the consequence they actually pass through and all of that. So I think it's quite important for us to ensure that you listen to these stories, though they are very, 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 very important. All right, so this one is a headless hunter. Now, don't forget that across several regions, stories tells of a ghostly hunter who runs lonely roads carrying a lantern of hunting tools. Despite having a no-head, travelers who encounter him are warned never to speak or follow him. The tale likely emerged as a warning against traveling through isolated areas after dark. Now, we have lesson is emphasized caution, especially when traveling alone at night. The crying woman. Wow. In the crying woman, many Nigerian communities tell stories of hearing a woman crying along deserted roads or in lonely villages. Those who stop to investigate often find no one there, while others claim the woman transforms into frightening spirits. Listen, the legend warns people against traveling alone at night and highlights the dangers of isolated places. Okay, so haunted trees and sacred fruits of forest. Now, large trees, particularly ancient silk, cotton trees, and sacred forests are often featured in Nigerian folklore. People traditionally believe these places were inhabited by spirits or ancestors, especially often after sunset. Now, whether taken literally or symbolically, some such stories encourage communities to respect sacred sites and avoid damaging important natural landmarks. The lessons learned here is that respect for nature and cultural traditions. Night masquerade. I have this particular night masquerade in my community, in Ekori. Precisely. Man, it's always very fearful. However, in many Nigerian cultures, masquerades represent ancestral spirits during ceremonies and festivals. Folklore often warns children not to mock, touch, or interfere with masquerades, as particularly outside approved cultural events. Now, stories of mysterious nighttime, encounters, reinforced respect for these traditions. Lessons: respect cultural institutions and community roles. Why these stories endure? Now, these horror stories have survived because they entertain while passing on important cultural values. They helped explain the unknown, encourage obedience, promoted safety, and strengthened respect for elders, culture, nature, traditions, and so on and so forth. But today, they continue to inspire Nigerian films, literature, podcasts, and social media discussions. Okay, so that's pretty much what we'll be doing from the people and culture segment of the Morning Buzz Show. My name is Obase Oye Thompson. Up next is the News Flash, which comes up by 9 a.m. Okay, so stay tuned and don't touch the dial. We'll be right back before you know it. Okay, so thank you for staying tuned with us on 103.5 Unico Radio International. If you're just joining us, it's 7 minutes past the hour of 9 on 103.5 FM Calabar. My name is Obase Oyitomson. Welcome back from that break. I trust you did had fun, dancing and jubilating. Don't forget that the weather is just absolutely cold, but trust me, I'm here to keep you accompanied, so you and I are definitely going to be here together. Yeah, the weather is so cold. Okay, so right away here, let's quickly take you through the top story segment of the Morning Boss Show. So don't forget our top stories will take you through what is happening in Unicall, across River State, and of course the national scene. And then after that, we'll go on a short music break and then bring to you the conversation of the day. But right away here, let's quickly start with the top story segment. Okay, so first on our top story, we have Unicall SCG President pays costly visits to the Cross River State PRO. Okay, so talking about the executive president of the Student Union Government SUG, University of Calabar, Senator Ebon Vodina Francis, has paid a courtesy visit to the Police Public Relations Officer, PPRO, Cross River State Police Command, ASP Sunday, A. Etipa. MNSIMA is a move aimed at strengthening collaborations between the Student Union Government and the Nigerian Police Force. Now, the Student Union Government President was accompanied by the Chief of Staff, Comrade Wisdom Abraham, Director of Information, Comrade Edama Jude, Chief Press Secretary, Comrade Okonkwo Goodluck, Olisa Meka, Senior Special Assistant on Special Duties, Comrade Samuel Chukwuobi, and the General Secretary of the Nigerian Union of Campus Journalists, NUCJ, University of Calabar, talking about Comrade Umar Samuel. Speaking during the visit, ASP Ethiopia reaffirmed the Cross River State Police Command's commitment to fostering a cordial relationship with the student community. He expressed the command's readiness to partner with the students' union governments on initiatives that promote peace, security, and mutual understanding within the university environment. In his remarks, Senator Ebon Vodina Francis expressed appreciation for the warm receptions accorded to his delegation. He noted that his administration remains committed to engaging strategic institutions and relevant stakeholders in pursuit of effective leadership, improved campus security, and the overall welfare of the students. Okay, so for me, practically, I just feel like this is something very interesting. It's very welcoming to see how these types actually move forward, But for me, I think on the other hand, well, you still need to, Mr. President, you still need to visit the Nigerians, the Federal Road Safety Commission, the Civil Defense, the Nigerian prison. You also need to visit the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, the Air Force, and even the trauma, all of our agencies in Cross River State. You need to do that because they are all working collaboratively to ensure that, the university community is safe. But on the other hand, I think there are some certain things I would really, really love your administration, Mr. President, to focus on, especially when it has to do with the university community. I know safety is one of the things you assured Nigerian students during your campaigns, and now you are the president, and as such, you have to deliver on those campaign promises. But first of all, I think there are immediate issues in the university that you should start now to tackle, and don't wait until it is 1 month for you to leave office, and then the only thing that we'll be hearing of is only Students Week, and then how do they call it, an award night. We don't want to see things like this in your administration. But however, we give kudos to you for these both steps you're taking to ensure that the partnership, between the university and, of course, the security forces are actually sustained and maintained at all times and at all levels. And then we see lots of, good matching entourage, that actually went on there. I would have been happy to see the likes of the director of welfare, to also be in that particular, journey, because this is something that really concerns the welfare of students in the university community. And also, movements like this, you also entail that you don't go alone, despite the fact that, yeah, you went with other persons, but I should have seen situations where a member of the state or of this university, security team actually journey same with you. This one way, trust me, you're not going to feel left out, because I think there are so many informations that even if the ASP would definitely want to share, but because you're not also a security personnel, so there are a lot of informations that will not be dished out. But at this point in time, I think in your next movement, look at staff within that particular area and ensure that we work, because this is a collaborative effort between the university, even if you are trying to, or even if you are the one man out there, especially when it has to do with the student union government. But you have to ensure that you'll be working closely with the administration, in things like this. Okay, so next on our top stories, we have a Department of Agri Extension to hold maiden public lecture. Now, the Department of Agricultural Extensions and Rural Sociology, a Faculty of Agriculture, University of Calabar, will hold its maiden public lecture on Thursday, July 16. That is 1 week from now, 2026 at 9 a.m. in the University of Calabar Senate Chambers. Now, the lecture title, From Farming with Hope to Farming with Information. Now, the role of digital agricultural extensions in Nigeria will be delivered by the guest lecturer, Senator Professor Anthony Okoriani, will represent Ebonyi South Senatorial District. The Vice Chancellor of the University of Calabar, Professor Ofyong Efanga Ofyong, will grace the occasion as chief host, with Honorable Johnson Ebokpo, Commissioner for Agriculture and Irrigation Development, Cross River State, serving as chairman, and Honorable Alex Egbona, member representing Abian-Yakol Federal Constituency, as special guest of honor. Also respected at the event are Dr. Hippo Latters, a Lupata Commissioner for International Donor Support, Cross River State, as guest of honor, Comrade Ambassador Gregory Olaye, Chairman, Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, Cross River State, as Father of the Day. Dr. Mrs. Gloria Onete Ogban, Gender and Social Safeguard Officer, SAPS, Cross River State, and Associate Professor Friday Oga Iduko, Head of Department, Agricultural Extensions and Rural Sociology, as host. Members of the university community and the general public are cordially invited to attend this enriching intellectual event. And this is coming from the Public Relations Unit, University of Calabar. All right, so I think I just love the title of this particular program that has to do with From Farming with Hope. A lot of farmers have actually lost the hope. But then here we are saying that, look, from farming with hope, to farming with information. So a lot of persons, go to farm, without the proper information for them to actually, do the right thing or go through the right processes for them to actually have good harvest and all of that. And so a lot of persons, not just the harvest, but, to make money out of it or livelihood out of it and all of that. So here, this program is for all of you out there. The entire University of Calabar is strongly, invited for this particular program, because this is one key thing that you're going to learn. For most of us, I could say a great number of students here, our parents are peasant farmers. These are people who would love to, improve their farming skills and all of that. So the little information you're going to hear from you is going to benefit your family members, and it's going to help, in sustaining your families as well, in your community and the society and Nigeria at large. So you see somebody doing something and be like, no, I think I have a fair idea of what you're doing. Can I assist? Can I help? And all of that. So you become key partners in the societal development as well. All right, so next on our top stories, we have here Kogi police arrest parents and 2 others for allegedly killing of teacher who disciplined 11-year-old pupil. Oh my goodness, yeah, you're shocked as I do as well. Now, the Kogi State Police Command says it has concluded its investigation into the death of Mariam Usman, a staff member of Brains Minds Nursery and Primary Schools in Ugbamaka or Lama Bore local government area, and arrested 3 suspects who will be prosecuted for alleged criminal conspiracy and culpable homicide. In a statement received on Wednesday by the Police Public Relations Officer ASP Saliu Oyiza Afusa, the command said the investigation began after a complaint was received following Usman's death on June 25, 2026. According to the police, detectives from the homicide sections of the State Criminal Investigation Department, State CID, Lokoja, launched an investigation that led to the arrest of 3 suspects. The command said its investigation revealed that the incident stemmed from disciplinary actions the deceased took against an 11-year-old people. Now, according to the statement, on June 17th, Abdullahi Isiaka allegedly assaulted Usman at her residence over the punishment she meted out to his son during school hours. Police further alleged that later the same day, while the victim was on her way to the mosque for prayers, she was assaulted again by Ramatu Isiaku Eliojo. Now, the investigation also found that on June 18, Ojo Jima Mary, identified as the younger sister of Ramatu Isiaku, allegedly went to Brains Mines Nursery and Primary School in Ugbamaka and assaulted the deceased at her workplace. Now, the police said Usman was initially treated at Grace Clinic in Ugbamaka before she was referred to a legal clinic in Okpo for further medication attention. Now, she, however, succumbed to the injuries on 25th of June. Now, the statement said, according to the police, the investigation established a prima facie case of criminal conspiracy and capable of homicide against Ujonjima Mary, Ramachu Isiaku Olejo, and Abdullahi Isaka. Consequently, the investigation has concluded and the suspect will be arraigned before the court of competent jurisdictions for prosecutions, the statement added. Now, the Commissioner of Police, Naziro Bello Kankarofi, commended the detectives who handled the case for their professionalism and dedication. Now, he reiterates the commitment, commands commitments to ensuring justice for victims of violent crimes and assure residents that criminal cases, will continue to be investigated diligently and professionally. Now, the police commissioner also advised members of the public against taking the laws into their own hands, urging them to seek lawful means of resolving disputes and to continue providing timely and credible information to aid crime preventions and law enforcement. Okay, so you've heard from the top stories there, and then these are stories and things that we've been talking about so many times. As a teacher, there are many ways you can actually discipline a child. When you realize that you might not be able to handle such discipline, please refer these children to the school administrator. Now, the school administrator will see better ways to ensure that he or she handles the situation. If there are things that you as an institution cannot handle, so refer them to the parents. Yeah, parents should be responsible for punishing their children to an extent. If you know that punishing this child will result to, and we've been hearing stories of this happening in many places. It mustn't happen to us before we learn. So we must have to ensure that we stop punishing children, or giving corporal punishment to children, because these are people's children, and they will in turn, come to vent their angers as well. Now, we're in a society where also parents do not suppose that, teachers, educators, help in, upbringing of their children, through discipline. But I could say proper discipline. I think it is wrong for parents in any way, in any form, to actually, take the laws into their hands. If your children were disciplined wrongly, write to the school authority. If the school authority, cannot handle those situations, then if this continue to persist, do all you can to write to relevant authorities. We have a lot of organizations, associations that actually handle all of these issues. We have NAPTI, we have all of these guys out there. The police can also help assist in, finding or profiling, lasting solutions to all of this. And to you, school administrators, employ people, and we talk about training and retraining. At most every quarter, have a meeting with your staff. Have a meeting with your workers. Get to talk to them, get to advise them, let them know the current trends, the current consequences. Every day, the system looks as if it is adjusting itself, or probably, finding a better way out of everything. So please, I think it's quite important for parents to ensure that they do not take laws into their hands. If you find out that a particular teacher or institutions is maltreating your child, please do all you can to ensure that you actually take care of the situation calmly through relevant authorities. Okay, so right away here we quickly be going on a short music break, and when we are back, the conversation of the day will follow suit. Stay tuned and don't touch the dial as we do this from Black or White, Michael Jackson. Stay tuned and don't touch the dial. Black or white? Which color do you actually choose for this weather? Black or white? Which color do you choose? Okay, I think I like white. I don't want anything black. I don't want anything black. I like white. I don't know what color you're choosing, but you must choose a color that actually would radiate your happiness this beautiful morning. Yeah, please, 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 please. Singles, singles. Hello, let me just speak to you, singles, okay? Just go and get yourself warm water, bit hot water. Pack all your DVDs possible, sleep under your bed. For the married, congratulations, you have to study. This is time to sing, yeah, okay, for the singles, right? Sing, play good music, and then relax yourself, dance, sweat, you need to dance and sweat, right? Okay, so time check is 26 minutes past the hour of 9 on 103.5 Unico Radio International. My name is Obas Thompson on the Morning Buzz Show. I'm your morning companion. Okay, so right away here, let's take you through the conversation of today's segment of the Morning Buzz Show. Okay, so now there's this story we've been talking about over the time, and today is that day we really, really, really want you to talk, get to respond to this. Now, the Senate has asked the federal government to suspend rehabilitation and reintegration program for Boko Haram members, while urging security agencies to intensify efforts to arrest and prosecute terrorists and other criminal elements responsible for attacks across the country. Now, the resolution was adopted during the plenary on Tuesday following a motion sponsored by Senator Abdulaziz Yaradua on the escalating attacks, adoptions, and killing of 7 and retired military personnel, which he described as a growing threat to national security and state authority. Now, the Senate also directed its committees responsible for security matters to strengthen oversight of security agencies and ensure that the nation's security chiefs are put on their toes over the security situation. Now, as part of this resolution, the upper chamber also resolved that a delegation led by the president of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, should meet with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to discuss the worsening security crisis. Now, presenting the motion, Senator Yaradua lamented the increasing wave of attacks targeting 7 and retired military officers across several states, noting that the incidents have resulted in deaths, prolonged captivity, ransom payments, emotional trauma, and economic hardship for victims, their families, and the nation at large. Now, he cited several higher-profile cases, including the adoptions of retired Colonel Rabiu Gaba Yandoto and his 2 children along the Gozio-Tafa Road in Zamfara State. On January 1st, 2023, and the kidnapping and subsequent killings of retired Major General Richard Chukwu Diduro in Imo State in September 2023, despite the payment of $50,000 ransom. Now, chronicling events. If you remember, the lawmaker also recalled that a mother of retired Brigadier General Uwem Udokwere, who was killed by intruders at his residence in Lokogoma in Abuja in June 2024, as well as the adoptions of former National Youth Service Corps members, and Director General, Brigadier General Maharuzu Tisha, now retired, who spent 56 days in captivity before regaining his freedom in April 2025. Now, the adoption and death of retired Major General, Abubakar and other victims, like Major General, talking about Major General Joe Ajayi in Kogi State in May 2025, the kidnapping and subsequent rescue of retired Colonel Joseph Ajanaku in Plateau State in January 2026, and the adoptions and death in captivity of former Director of Defense Information's Major General Rape Abubakar, retired, kidnapped alongside his wife in Katsina State on May 30, 2026. Senator Yaradua said the killings of retired Major General Abubakar and other victims while in the custody of terrorists represent a painful national loss and underscores, the persistent insecurity confronting the country. Now, he warned that the increasing targeting of 7 and retired military personnel by terrorists and criminal groups signals a dangerous shift in the nation's, security landscape, particularly because many of the victims had previously held sensitive operational, intelligence, and command positions within the country's security architecture. Now, following deliberations, and the Senate resolved to call on the federal government to halt the rehabilitations and reintegrations of terrorists, ensure the arrest and prosecutions of those responsible for violent crimes, and strengthen the nation's security responses. Now, through enhanced oversight and engagement with the presidency. Now, the question we have for you out there is, can someone who once took up arms against the country truly be trusted to be reintegrated into that society? Can someone who once took up arms, sophisticated arms, against the Nigerian state, be truly trusted to be reintegrated into the society? Our phone lines are open 0809 4444 0809 4444 You can actually send your WhatsApp message to the same phone number this beautiful morning. Okay, so our phone lines are open. So waiting for your calls. And after this, don't forget that we'll be going through the newspaper segment of the Morning Boss Show. Stay tuned and don't touch that while waiting for your calls. Okay, because for me, particularly, I just wouldn't, and I wouldn't want, I would never subscribe, to having this set of human beings, being integrated into Nigerian society, because this is something that definitely it's not really going to go well with Nigeria, security, because it's just like what happened to one of the major generals, who happened to escape. But before you know it, while even in the forest, he had to make a call. But before he could get real genuine help, we already have people surround him and took away his life. And so we asking this question: why would you even want? Why would you even do that as a nation? To integrating these persons who have made your country, giving your country a bad name in the international scene, to be integrated into our Nigerian security forces. It doesn't really make any sense at all, and it doesn't, and it will never make any sense. So I think it's a very perfect one for the Senate to say, look, enough is enough. Whoever has committed such crimes, should actually face the crime, face, the justice, and then we don't want to say, oh, we want to call them to book, no, enough of the books. We have called a lot of persons to books, but up to today, we've not seen the consequences of those books that have been written or those persons that have been called to book. So we want real actions now, so we want the courts should not take, too long to say, look, we have had enough, and the evidence are so much that we don't want anybody to come and justify anything, because these are persons who have done so much harm to our Nigerian system, and of course giving us bad name in the international scene. And these are things that we do not want to hear again, we do not want to see again. Come on, how are you killing somebody, and then before you know it, you come and tell the person, come and join in? You will be leaking out information. This is why even well, probably when we get to the newspaper segment, you see that a lot of things have actually happened just yesterday and today. How are these guys able to go to military cantonments, go to barracks, go to highways, kidnap people at will, and nobody is saying anything and nothing is happening and all of that? I remember back then when they say, hey, a military officer was slapped in this street. Slap, oh, I didn't say hot, harm, or do anything. Just slap, better slap like this, for this kind of weather. Better hot slap like this. You say person slap military person for these streets. See, the entire of that street, the next street, both south, east, west, and north of that particular street, all those streets combined together. That, you see, that day, that night, you guys are not going to sleep. The military will come in their convoy and make sure anything, any living thing they see, including non-living thing, now, what it used to be. But today, we're already having a system where, hundreds, thousands, and nothing is going to happen. A major general, would be, killed like, one of those kind of pets, animals, or and what have you, and nothing is going to happen. So it's just sad that things like this are actually happening in Nigeria. But if you ask me, I think it's something that literally should not even happen. These are terrorists, but a lot of persons have come out to say, no, we shouldn't refer to them as terrorists because they are our brothers, not as if these things they are doing, they are even enjoying in it too, or they are even enjoying the money and all of that. And I ask the question, are you being serious right now? Is this something we need to talk about right now? So our phone lines are open. Don't forget to you out there. If you have a lot to share, do well to call 0809 0809 All right, so that's pretty much what we're doing right here. We'll quickly go on a short music break, and when we are back, the newspaper segment will definitely follow suit. Okay, so we're going to be doing something very interesting from this person I really, really, really love so much, and he called this one "Living La Vida Loca," and it's coming from Ricky Martin. Stay tuned and don't touch the back. I'll be right back before you know it. Car. This is coming from Ricky Martin. Yeah, I actually want to spice up your day. Okay, so don't lie down and be hearing all of those tunes that will make you be thinking somehow. So you need to spice up. You need to do exercise. This is time for you to do exercise now. Wake up now. Wake up and do exercise. Warm yourself up. Drink hot tea. So welcome to the newspaper segment of the Morning Boss Show. My name is Obas Oye Thompson. Time check is 9:39 on the DOT. Right away here, let's quickly take you through the Guardian newspaper this beautiful morning. Don't forget that these newspapers, if they're interesting stories, definitely you want to be part of the conversation. You're free to call the phone numbers that we actually do at 0809 Okay, right away here, let's quickly start through here from the Guardian newspaper this morning. We have first here, we have legal destructions, intimidations, weakening opposition's 2027 contest. We also have PFPIC, probe divides NAS as ADC. Atiku insists on independent, inquiry. All right, so we have Tinubu hails Benue's industrial growth as a liar, comments very government's reforms. Okay, so we also have here from the Guardian newspaper this morning, NANS names 43 institutions in Nelfon double tuition scandal. Okay, so NANS have actually named about 43 institutions in Nelfon double tuition scandal. Okay, so right away here, let's quickly pick up this phone call this beautiful morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Okuneyo.
Okun Eyo. Okay, so quickly. Okay, quickly, let's have your take.
About the thing of the general.
Okay.
If you do mind, don't sympathize with the feeling of justice that we have.
Okay.
Or kidnap or Boko Haram. Don't, in fact, sympathize with the generals. Generals can be killed.
Yeah.
That would be very interesting. Why? Because it is the generals that have compromised.
Okay.
Generals that compromise. They are the ones that are how people to be the way it is. Because we have been thinking of the soldier to be the next, at least, point of at least recovery from what we have been facing in this country. But if the generals are not even talking of the elite in the army, those ones that don't go, they go, come back, they come back, they stay. But the generals, major generals, they are the ones that the government, the president has forced them over. But the police, the IG, the AIG, and also top-ranking officers. So, whatever that is happening to them, it is only the generals and the IG, the AIG that fight for them. That are kidnapping, killing them. I wouldn't be, in fact, I would have for them.
Okay.
So that is why they are suffering. Let them pay for the price, for what they have come us in this country. So that's my own take. Don't sympathize with them. Because if a general organization also guys north, south, and east west of the environment, or that is true. That don't happen now. If it has been happening, it must have been done.
Okay.
Let the general be ready to face the wrath of the law. Okay.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much, for calling right away here. Okay, so I think he's made his points that, this particular terrorist, should be made to face the law because they are taking the lives of great persons that we should be respecting and, of course, be happy to have as a nation. All right, so thank you for your opinion out there. Okay, so don't forget that phone lines are still open 0809-4444-058. Okay, so quickly, let's pick up this call right away. Hello.
Again, sorry.
Okay.
I had a problem on the network. You can imagine how can you into military, into police, and all of that.
Okay.
These are the people who have in life. But you rather bring them, recruit them into the military, and to police. What is expect? These are the people talk like you have rightly said. These are the people that the information
Okay.
because they are not. They are just there to be,
Okay,
to
so
be
but then again,
signaling the world, the brothers in the forest.
yeah,
So why
but
did you bring them into the system?
okay, so
And you think it's
but there again,
necessary
well,
to
I think I
my,
would love you
my
to.
point is the president, we don't
Hello,
have
can you hear
president
me?
in this country.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Just like what I've come,
Hello, can
just
you
like what
hear
I was
me?
on TikTok. A white man asked a Nigerian,
Okay,
Nigerian man, who's the president of Nigeria? He said, Nigeria has no president.
okay,
The white man asked again. I said, who is the president of Nigeria? That's how I said. I said that Nigeria does not have president.
okay.
And when the white man asked the man again, who is you don't know who is the next president of Nigeria? He said we had the president before. The white man asked who is the former president of Nigeria that you knew. He said it was good luck for Venezuela. That for now, Nigeria does not have the president. And I agree with that man. Don't forget what our president said. Or what the president the man who calls himself president today.
Okay, so I think but this okay. So
He said that
hello, can you hear me?
he has not been voted for.
Yeah.
He said
Okay.
he has not been voted for. So as become the president. So as
Okay.
long as you don't have the president.
So I think
in
we'll
this
let you go right now. Well, if you're just listening to us this beautiful morning, don't forget that well, we wouldn't want you to say things that you don't have facts to. Okay, so in as much as we know, Tinubu is Nigerian's president. Okay, so I think we'll accord that respect. That is what the Constitution have said, and that is what the courts have actually told Nigerians, and as such, we must have to respect the rule of law. We must have to respect that particular opinion, even if we might have diverse perceptions or opinions, personal opinions to that, but we must have to be saying things that we have facts to, credible facts to, and all of that. But however, thanks for your own personal opinion anyway. However, I trust you have your voter's card, and I know you're mobilizing for, your family members, your friends, your streets, your business partners, for the candidates you want them to vote and all of that. Okay, so the first daily newspaper has it as the biggest stories here. No more waiting. Shoot them. Defense ministers orders troops to engage bandits and terrorists without delay. Okay, so we hope these orders are taken seriously and we want to see good results. Obi, I may not be alive before 2027. Alleges threats and intimidation. All right, so I think to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I think Nigerians are watching you and the international community is watching you. So whatever you're doing, whatever you must have to do to ensure that you protect the life of other candidates of other political parties, you must have to do it, because this same thing was actually done to you back then. So you must have to replace. Of course, that is constitutional right, that everyone has to contest. And so you must not permit anyone to bully any other candidate simply because you want to remain in power or whatever it is. So I think it's quite important for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to ensure that every candidate, every other opposition candidate, is safe, is protected, because it is their constitutional right for any citizens of Nigeria to want to, contest in any elections. Okay, so we must not bully opposition simply because we don't want people to come into play. But here we have these allegations that we want the president, to create an independent investigation to ensure that this is not true, because, we wouldn't want what is happening in Venezuela, in Mexico, and many of these countries, in most of African countries, to actually happening in Nigeria, because it's not going to be funny. We don't want to experience what has happened between Nigeria and Biafra, civil war back then, to actually occur again, because these are things and threats that are capable of causing all of these things. But to Nigerians, the best way we can actually express our dissatisfactions to any level is for us to get our PVCs. Okay, so still on the first daily newspaper this morning, we have reps moved to crash about 2.23 trillion kidnap ransom network. Okay, so this is such a huge money out there, and the Daily Independent is up next with the biggest stories. We have federal government domestic borrowing spree triggers fixed income sale off. Okay, so we have reps in rowdy sections over call to summon Tinubu. Yeah, now there is actually a call for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to be summoned, but here we're having a lot of senators senators saying, no, we cannot. But I'm asking a question. Are we truly in democracy? What is happening? What is wrong with, well, it's sad. It's very pathetic that in this 21st century, despite, I keep saying, despite the level of education we are acquiring, despite the level of religion, culture, and whatever, we are still allowing tribalism, we're still allowing, culture, we're still allowing so many things to stand on our way. Instead of moving forward, we are returning back. I remember what Goodluck Jonathan said some couple of years ago, voting, that well, it depends on who you want to vote. There are some persons you want to vote, and trust me, we're returning back to the dark ages, not even stone ages, dark ages. And it's sad that today in the 21st century, when people are tremendously doing well globally, we are struggling, and still, despite all the billions that we have as a country, as a nation, where people are comfortably looting from the local governments down to the presidency, and then we're still calling ourselves, how do you call it, under developing, I'll be developing, or whatever they call it. Please, I am not, and I will not be part of it. That's my personal opinion. Okay, that Nigeria is a developed nation. It's just that we are just quite a bit not fortunate enough, to have persons who are really, really ready to actually transform the country. Okay, so the New Telegraph newspaper is up next with the biggest stories we have. Insecurity, shoot terrorists on sight, don't wait for other. Defense minister tells soldiers. Okay, so let's watch forward to see what's happening in a couple of days, and that's pretty much what we'll be doing from the newspaper segment of the Morning Boss show this beautiful morning. Right away here, we quickly take you through the quotes of the day, and of course, a wrap up for today's show. Okay, so the quotes of the day is simple and straight to the point. Growth begins with the moment you become willing to be uncomfortable. Growth begins the moment you become willing to be uncomfortable. By this, leave your comfort zone. Even if it is raining, go to work. Even if it is raining, try, go out. Like I keep saying, yeah, we're talking about this a couple of days ago with Vine and Sharon, and then we're saying, look, I personally do not subscribe to, Mondays and Tuesday. Yeah, stay indoors in the name of, I'm tired, I'm lazy. No matter what the situation, except you're dying, but if you're sick, you should have to that's quite different. Okay, it's a different ball games entirely. But you see, Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays, please don't miss going to work. And for most of you, you heard that the Vice Chancellor have come out to say, our staff, please do all you can to make sure you take your work seriously. 10 o'clock, lots of persons are not come to the office. 11, they are not there. 12, they are not there. 1, they come and they tell you, oh, I have an appointment, and vim, they leave, not minding what you are also supposed to do, and all of that. They feel like that is just a trash and it's not necessary. Oh, please. We do not want to see this. Okay, so don't forget, growth begins the moment you become willing to be comfortable. Okay, so that's pretty much what we'll be doing today. I trust you had a great time, and of course, but it's quite unfortunate that we will definitely, be drawing the curtain. I just wish I could just be here to talk, and get talking. Okay, so I'm sure you had the best time, and the tune of your day has actually been set. A big thank you to everyone who tuned in, called, and sending messages. We deeply and sincerely appreciate you. Don't forget to follow all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and X, or formerly X, right? Okay, so on all our social media, we are Unico Radio International. If you have any complaints within your areas, do all you can to call our studio lines on 0809 4444 if you have messages, do all you can to send to the same message. But if you want to follow me personally on all of my social media platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, X, Instagram, my name is Obase Oyi Thompson. Okay, so follow me on all of my social media platforms. Trust me, we'll have a whole lot of gist, to actually be kind out there. Okay, so from me to you, do have a pleasant and a fantastic day. To my technical teams, we say thank you so very much, Collins and I do call this other stubborn boy. I call him a stubborn boy, but Emmanuel, thank you so very much, guys, for all you're doing, Pedro, and all our wonderful admins team. All right, from me too, do have a pleasant and a fantastic day. Until we meet again tomorrow. Bye for now. And I'll be doing something very interesting. Don't worry, I'm not going to give you the. I'm going to be doing something very interesting from these particular persons that I really love so much. And this is coming from ABBA, and it's called Dancing Queen. So dance and shake off this cold weather off. Bye for now.